Hi there, Irene Diamond from irenediamond.com and designyourdreampractice.com. I work with therapists, wellness providers, instructors, fitness trainers, acupuncturists, and chiropractors, and I coach them on taking their practice from good to great. So today I'm talking about fear. And one of the biggest obstacles I see that therapists come to me with is their fear. Now, you've probably heard this phrase before. Fear, what does it stand for? False evidence appearing real. And when I work with clients, I ask them, what are you afraid of? And sometimes they can't put their finger right on it. So today I'm going to talk with you a little bit about some strategies that I found that helped me and has also helped my clients, and I hope they'll help you. So I've covered it up, and that's going to be so we don't confuse you. I know it might be a little hard to read, but I'm going to be talking you through it. So what are people afraid of? The first and biggest thing that I find is that they're afraid of failure. Failure. I say, okay, so what are you afraid of? What happens if you fail? And one of the things they tell me is that they're afraid that it'll cost them money, they'll lose money. So if you're investing in your business and you are afraid that the money you put in won't come back, that can stop you. Of course it can. So fear of losing money or wasting money or spending money that they don't get their return on. That's a big fear. It's a valid fear. Another thing that stops people from making a business decision or going forward in their business is fear of embarrassment. So they're afraid that if their business fails, they'll be embarrassed. They'll have to explain to their friends and their families what went wrong. They'll have to explain that they took a risk and it didn't work. Well, guess what? Me making this video for you is scary. I could fail. Nobody could watch it. Or you could watch it and think I look dumb, or watch it and think what I have to say doesn't make sense or doesn't apply to you. I have to get over my fear of being in front of the camera, of sharing my thoughts and my strategies and ideas with you. And the reason I can go forward and get over that fear is because I think, first of all, I think my information is helpful and valid because I've seen it work with many, many people. I also am able to come to terms with the fact that maybe you're going to think it is dumb. And okay, well, if I help 5 people and 2 people think it's not effective, then I've still helped 5 people. So that's how I come from a place of going forward, jumping in, taking a risk. I can lose some money on time and energy and editing and getting this out to you. I can fail with being embarrassed. I'm willing to take that risk because it'll help me get to my ultimate goal, which is touching more people, helping more people in the wellness arena. I'm standing here in my San Francisco Wellness Center. When I first was trying to make a business decision on whether or not I should sign the lease on this huge space, it's about 1,500 square feet, and it was the biggest lease for a business I'd ever had to have signed. And I asked for advice. I asked for suggestions from my friends, from my families. I went to a financial advisor. We ran the numbers, and he told me not to do it. He said, don't take the lease on this wellness center because I don't think the numbers play out. But I trusted my heart, I trusted my gut, and I decided to do it anyway. 15 years later, we're still here and we're doing well. So I took a risk. I was certainly afraid I was going to lose money, and I certainly didn't want to tell people I was failing. So this is the thing that I want you to keep in mind. Fear of failure. What about fear of what it takes? Fear of what it takes to reach your goals. So it can take a lot of work. It can take a lot of work. It took me a ton of work to get this wellness center going. It took me a ton of time, buying the equipment, deciding on the color of paint, finding the staff, doing the marketing, doing the advertising, making the phone calls, letting my existing clients know that I was now here, paying for advertising, researching advertising space, finding out, this was way before the internet, placing the ads in the yellow pages, actually taking out a display ad in the yellow page that costs money that you have to sign a year-long commitment to. What if I didn't even have the business a year later? I was locked in. So it took a lot of work, it took a lot of time, and of course, I had to learn new skills. I had to learn marketing on a bigger scale. I had to learn how to manage therapists. I had to learn how to manage my office staff. I had to learn how to create my marketing. I had to learn how to create my brand, my logo, all of that goes together in taking a risk. I did it, you can do it too. So, are you afraid of what it takes to reach your goals? Of the amount of time and work and energy and new skills you'll have to learn? It's all possible. Now, some people find that they're literally afraid of success. How can somebody be afraid of success? Well, it manifests itself in different ways. What I see, oftentimes my clients are right up against the wall. They're doing better in their practice. They're getting more clients. They're getting more referrals from their healthcare providers. They're getting a more consistent flow where the clients are coming back and seeing good results and getting good results from the work that you're providing or that they're providing. And so it looks really terrific, but there's a fear of success. And what does that look like? That looks like if they become more successful, they might lose their friends. Why would they lose their friends? Well, because their friends might not be at that same financial income bracket. They may start to resent you when you start seeing higher levels of success. In our minds, for some of us, successful people got there because they aren't good people, or they tricked their way into being successful. So sometimes we have this stuff deep inside of us, in our hearts and our brains, things that we were programmed with from childhood, maybe through our parents or our community, about how rich people are not nice people. Well, if you want to be successful, but are still internalizing the thought that rich people are bad, then you're juggling. How are you going to come to terms with that? You can only be successful and be financially sound and stable if you think having money is a good thing. I think money's a good thing. It allows me to do what I want to do. It allows me to, my kids went to the dentist yesterday, and one of my children had a cavity that needed to be filled, and my husband could just, of course, say yes, because we have the financial means to be able to do that. We didn't have to make a decision where our children are concerned. So money is not evil. Money is just the way to live a better quality of life where you're not struggling. And this is what I love, is when you are more successful, you can actually help more people. Because by you being successful, having enough for yourself, it allows you to give more freely, where you then can maybe donate some services or donate financially to a charity or pay for some other child's dental work if you want to do that. Once you have the financial means, where you feel secure, where you know that you're not going to be struggling financially, it opens up a world of freedom for you. So if you can come to terms with that concept, you will have an easier chance of becoming more successful yourself. So if you think that your friends are going to pull you down, just be aware of that. That might be something you'll have to come to terms with. Your family might say, oh my gosh, look at you. Who do you think you are? Right? I've seen this happen. And I'm just kind of giving you the warning. What about fear of money? What do you do with all that money? How do you manage it? How do you handle it? Where do you invest it? Do you reinvest it into your business? Do you invest into stocks? There's big decisions that come when you start seeing an increase in your income. So fear of success is a very valid fear. And the last one, you will have to learn new skills. You'll have to learn how to be someone who has money. And that can be simply, how do you manage your money? Where do you invest your money? How do you talk about your money? Where do you put it? All of those things go along with being successful. So if you are finding that you have some fear wrapped around your business choices, your business decisions, I want you to just take some time to think about it. Is it actual fear of failure? What happens if you don't make it? Is it fear of what it actually will take to be successful? Or fear of what happens once you are successful? Now, before we close, what I'd like to do is just, you've maybe heard this concept before, it's called the 1-year, 5-year, 10-year test. So when you are coming up against a business decision that you have to make, whether it's signing a big lease, whether it's hiring a graphic designer, whether it's putting together an ebook off of your website so you can capture names and addresses of people who come to your website. When you are faced with a business decision and you feel a little nervous about it, or you get a little funny feeling in your stomach, and you're not sure if this feeling is a valid fear or the fear of evidence appearing real but not being real, then I want you to think about the 1-year, the 5-year, the 10-year test. 1 year is, ask yourself, if I make this business decision, or if I don't make this business decision, how will it affect me in 1 year from now? How will it affect me in 5 years from now? And how will it affect me in 10 years from now? If you have a solid answer for those 3 sort of benchmarks of whether you should do it or shouldn't do it, that will really help you make your decisions. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you shared it with your friends and colleagues. Let them know about it. If you do that, I won't be as embarrassed. If you tell your friends about it and think this information was helpful, I'd love that you post a comment and let me know what you thought about it. Also, let me know if in fact you do experience some fear. It's natural. We all do. We don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to lose money. We want to stay in our safe little cocoon. But remember, you can't fly if you're staying safe. I have a sign actually in the second room, not a sign, a poster hanging on the wall in the second treatment room, and it says, playing it safe is one of the most dangerous things you can do. So with that, I say goodbye. Irene Diamond, IreneDiamond.com. Thank you.